All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Today is December 5th. This is your daily hit. I am Adam Jewell. Just a reminder, please like, please follow, please share with others. Trying to grow this podcast, trying to bring you information, trying to get out there. So please like, follow, all that kind of great stuff. Today, we're going to get to know AOC a little bit. I'm happy. It's a good day. I got my Make America Great Again hat on. Um, and I want to come at this with kind of a no slant, fresh start kind of look. I didn't know that much about AOC when I first got into politics. Even before I first started researching her, I knew she was a bartender from New York, and everyone on the conservative side just calls her stupid, and that's it. I'm not sure how many people really know all that much about her. But today we're going to get to know her a little bit, so hang in there. Um, for one, she is the youngest woman ever elected to Congress. They call her a progressive powerhouse and a very polarizing figure, we'll say, in American politics. But let's explore how the bartender from the Bronx became a household name within uh, American politics practically overnight. So let's head it out. Uh, just a picture of AOC up top. First off, obviously, AOC, very pretty woman, very good looking. That's probably what attracts a lot of people. That's probably one of the reasons she gets a lot of attention. And there's a reason for that as we get along as well. But talk about her kind of early career, what she's done. She grew up in the Bronx. She was the daughter of Puerto Rican parents. She graduated from Boston University in 2011 and majored in economics and international relations. Right, and she graduated cum laude, which at Boston University, roughly 15% of the graduating seniors are awarded that cum laude. Um, just as awareness, the GPA, the grade point average for cum laude at Boston is anywhere between 3.2 and 3.49. So she got fairly good grades while she was at Boston University. She also interned for Senator Ted Kennedy working on immigration issues. And she was the only Spanish speaking intern that would talk directly to Spanish speaking constituents. Um, she did have a family loss during kind of her college or after high school years. Her father passed away in 2008. She was working multiple jobs, including the bartender. Apparently, there was a lengthy probate dispute, which made her, which shaped her views around attorneys and how much money is charged within the legal system rather than trying to take care of people. Um, her growing up in the Bronx really gave her some firsthand exposure to economic inequalities and systemic challenges uh, that informed her progressive values, we'll say. So how she got into politics, her political awakening, she was involved in Bernie Sanders' 2016 campaign. This was the campaign where, the Democrats essentially robbed Bernie. Hillary took all of it. AOC worked as a grassroots organizer, advocating for Medicare for all and other progressive policies. Um, it was during that time or after that time, after Bernie's campaign, where she was approached by a PAC called Justice Democrats, right? And this was in 2017, where Justice Democrats and a PAC called Brand New Congress sought out new candidates to challenge established Democrats. So, it's kind of a little bit of a retribution um, with the Bernie campaign, him kind of getting slighted by the Democrats. They wanted to find new people that they could essentially put up as Congress people, train them to be Congress people, and push their progressive policies, right? And this isn't secret. This is talked about, but a lot of people don't know this. Essentially, she was chosen by a PAC, by a Democratic PAC, um, to enter Congress, be trained to enter Congress. Um, she was nominated for the position with Justice Democrats by her brother. Apparently, with Justice Democrats, you can't nominate yourself, or if you do nominate yourself, immediately uh, you're immediately withdrawn. But she was nominated by her brother, and she was selected by Justice Democrats. And I mean, obviously, one of the reasons that they select people is for how well they're going to do in the media, how well they're going to do with their constituents. And one of the reasons was that she is attractive, right? Also, I will say I'm not going to be one of those Trump people that says she's just some stupid bartender. No, I think she's probably very smart. She talks intelligently. She has a degree. She was working on multiple things uh, prior to getting into Congress. So I think she's a very smart woman. There's probably a lot of reasons to select her. She's very good with social media. She was good at outreach. Similar to Obama, similar to Trump in this election and the podcast election, so to say. She has a lot of social media influence. So she was nominated by her brother. She was inspired to run over things like the Dakota Access Pipeline. She ran against Joe Crowley, who was a Democratic House member from New York, and he was a 10-term incumbent, right? So he'd been there a very long time. He was a very influential Democrat. He was poised to be the Speaker of the House at one point in time. But she kind of ran that, grassroots campaign, we'll say, knocking on doors, connecting with people in her district. He very much outspent her in that campaign. But she, was great at the social media and great at outreach in general, had the personality, and ended up winning that election. Her core platforms were things like the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, affordable housing, and justice for working class Americans, right? This was, an upset victory that she won in 2018, which seems a little weird to think about just because, 2018, only 6-7 years ago now, it feels like AOC has been in the spotlight of politics forever. But it really only has been about 6 years. So she was elected to Congress at 29 years old, being the youngest woman to serve in Congress. And I just want you to think about that for a second. I'm 40 years old. And I can tell you at 29, I was an idiot and doing really, really dumb shit. Just think about being elected to Congress, 29 years old. I mean, you have to have some brains, you have to have some smarts, you have to have some skill to be able to do that. So hats off to her for that. She, viral moments and media dominance, she was really known for her sharp questioning during hearings and, again, that effective use of social media to communicate, directly to the people, right? Which people are really enjoying that these days. That's why the podcast era is here. She championed, bold ideas like we talked about, like the Green New Deal, which of course I do not support, and inspired a lot of new generation of activists and politicians and young people. Let's see here. One kind of odd thing that some people don't know about her, she was very much into science. She won an award at Intel's ISEF, it was called. She got second place. I think I got a pic of it here. Let me see. So here is a picture of her at that conference. I'm trying to look for exactly what that was for. This was for contributing to understanding of how antioxidants can impact oxidative stress and aging at the cellular level, right? So, and she got second place. And again, this was at a science fair that Intel puts on. I think someone else took over it now, but Intel put it on for 10 or 11 years, I believe. Even as a result of this, she had an asteroid named after her, right? In honor by the International Astronomical Union, which was a unique accolade for high achieving science fair participants. So, a lot of people, like I said, call her the dumb bartender. That's all she was a bartender. I think she's got a lot of brains behind her. A couple more pictures. I think this was from Boston University. Here was one of those iconic moments that she had. You can't see the full dress, but I think this was at the what was this? This was the gala, the Met Gala, I believe. But it says "tax the rich" on her dress. I think she got into some sort of trouble or hot water from this, from getting tickets and how expensive those tickets were, as well as if the dress was a contribution or a campaign contribution, whatever it may be. But this was one of her iconic moments. Picture of her when she was young with her father here. And then back to the original pick that I had. But that's a little bit about AOC for you. I mean, a lot of people, judge the book by its cover. Again, that dumb bartender comment. I think AOC's beliefs are wrong. My opinion, in terms of her beliefs, is that she grew up with, let's say, oppression all around her, and oppression really formed her political ideology. And I'm of the mindset that a political ideology formed by oppression does not grow into something that helps all. I think it tries to be the Robin Hood, of that particular environment, and in doing so, you can cause some harm to others when you're thinking of purely, making right to the oppression that you've seen growing up. I don't think that's a good political mindset. It's almost as if, we're talking like, it's almost as thinking of like a revenge mindset, right? You feel oppressed your entire life for various reasons, and you grow up to push policies that, fight that oppression when there are many other things that you should be focused on, or even the core beliefs behind your motivation are not to, in general, make government, make our country, make mankind better. It's more so to right the wrongs that you have seen throughout growing up with that oppression. So I think the core beliefs are probably incorrect with her. That's at least my opinion. But AOC, very controversial figure. Again, it's super odd that this is somebody that never. It wasn't like for years she was trying to be a congresswoman, or for years she was doing things to get to the point of being a congresswoman. I mean, she was selected, we'll say, by Justice Democrats, this PAC, and she was trained. She was sent to Kentucky for like essentially a political campaign boot camp, training her on how to talk to the media, how to essentially be a politician. And it's just a really odd way of getting into politics, but you see this more and more often. I think when I was doing some research, every member of the squad was selected the same way, which was very odd to me. But these organizations, Justice Democrats, and then the other one, what was it? Let's see here, Brand New Congress. They pride themselves in not taking big money from everyone and really being grassroots and small contributions. And from the research that I did, that's correct. They haven't taken big money from anyone. They haven't spent a ton on their campaigns. So it seems as though she's living up to what she wanted to do, what she originally got into this for, and what that particular PAC wants to do. But again, my opinion on her is mainly I think she has the wrong mindset in terms of oppression, essentially, and growing up to take revenge on oppression, we'll say. So that being said, we're at about 15 minutes here. I'm going to cut it off for today. If you have any questions, comments, anything that you think is interesting that most people don't know about AOC, let me know. Drop it in the comments. And we'll talk again later. Again, this is your Daily Hit. I'm Adam Jewell. Thanks for joining in. Remember, like, follow, share, comment, all that great stuff. All right, cool. We'll see you tomorrow.